When using social media as a marketing platform, there's a lot of content creation that comes with it. From researching your ideas to actually creating the content, filming your videos, making your graphics, writing your captions, actually posting the content, and then reviewing the analytics to further inform your content creation. It's kind of a cycle that keeps repeating. And the good news is it can get faster and faster as you go. It can get easier and easier as you go, but it takes some practice. And so a question that I get asked often is how I create so much content each week and what that workflow really looks like. I think it can be really overwhelming to think about, especially if you're posting to multiple platforms per week. So I wanted to sit down with you today and just go through my content creation process and hopefully leave you with some tips and a bit of an outline for how you can do this for yourself. Now, the one thing I'll say is that with working with a lot of different clients, creatives, and authors on their social media content, we all have different things that work best for us. We all have different brains that work differently. Some people absolutely love to schedule posts. Other people like to kind of wing it or come up with ideas on the spot as they feel inspired. And there's no wrong way to make content and post it as long as we are being engaging and getting the word out there about our creativity, our products, our books, etc. Every single week I post as an author on Instagram and TikTok. I try to keep up with Threads and Facebook a little bit. I have a couple different Facebook groups that I run. I have this YouTube channel, and I also have an Instagram and a TikTok for this marketing page as well. So every single week I'm creating a lot of content, and it can be a lot to keep up with sometimes, but if you have a routine in place, it can be a lot simpler. So the very first step is going to be the ideation/research phase, actually coming up with the ideas for your content. And there's a few different ways you can do this, but one of my favorite ways is just going right to the source on social media and scrolling. You can either scroll your home feed if you're following people, or go on your TikTok For You page and get some ideas about what's trending, about what's popular, what styles. Pay attention to what is hooking you in. You can also search for keywords. So if you're an author, search for your genre in the search bar, depending on what type of creative or niche you're in. Just think about some keywords that would apply to what you do and search for those terms. And you'll come up with a lot of content. You'll find popular content that a lot of people are commenting on and engaging with. You can look for the most followed people in that search term or keyword and see what is drawing people into those pages. Why is this video so popular? Why did it stop me if it did? So I am just going to go onto Instagram and do a little bit of post research. I am just on the search bar right now, and I'm going to type in a random genre as an example for you. So let's go with thriller books today. I am going to type in thriller books, and it's going to pull up some content for me. So if we're just taking a look at the top, and I'm curious about reels, so I just tabbed over to reels, and I'm going to look through the most popular content. So for thriller books you can read in one day, this person is explaining each book with a quick summary of what they're about. So I see this, and if I were a thriller author with multiple books out, I would create a video like this with a hook, such as 4 thriller books you can blah, 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 4 thriller books that will keep you up at night or keep you turning the page, and then show each of my books with a quick one-liner about each book. And even if I'm not a thriller author, I can easily apply this to my own books with a similar style and give it a try. So there's one idea I already found from one video. Some other things that I'm noticing from scrolling through this is a lot of people are talking about quick books they can read, book recs for short attention spans, book recs you can read in one day. So if you have a shorter collection, maybe you make a post just about shorter books that people can get through in one day. I know that that's popular toward the end of summer or at the end of the year. Hey, to meet your reading count goal for the year, check out this book. It's shorter than my other books. You'll be able to get through it in this amount of time. So that's a content idea there as well. So I just keep scrolling and looking for ideas and then jotting those down in the notes on my phone. You can grab a pen and paper, however you like to keep things organized, and just come up with ideas as you scroll. So pay attention as you look at what content is pulling you in, the content that has a lot of engagement. Are they asking a question? Are they making a powerful statement? Is there a trendy song? Is it short? Is it long if it's a video? Are there more graphics that are kind of made in Canva, or is it more pictures that people have taken themselves? So pay attention to that and take some notes on what you find. Are there any posts that spark ideas for yourself? Not copying that exact post idea, but a way that you can apply this to your own content. And just take some notes, jot down some ideas. I find just from scrolling for a few minutes, I can come up with a few things, but it might take you a little bit longer as well. And once you have those ideas written down, you can start to expand on them a little bit more. Is your content going to be videos? Is it going to be graphics or pictures? How can you make it your own and make it fun for you? Because that's really important as well. So after the research and ideation phase comes the creation phase. So will you be taking pictures, filming videos? Will you be making graphics in Canva, for example? You'll create your content, again, paying attention to, does this look authentic to me? Does this look engaging? If there's text on the post, is it clear? Is it big enough to be read? If I'm speaking in the video, can people hear me? Are there captions over top? Can people easily figure out what's going on? And am I hooking attention in the first couple of seconds? For me, I typically will create a few things at once. A lot of my author page content is footage of my books. So I'll go in and take some pictures, take some videos at the same time. I actually have an alarm on my phone each day to remind me because I will forget if I'm busy doing other things and I want to remember to be consistent. So your alarm doesn't have to be every single day, but I found that that works for me because some days I'll just swipe it away and be like, nah, I don't feel like it today. And other days I am ready to go. I'm available when that alarm goes off and I go and create my content, and it really helps me stay productive and stay consistent with my content. So I take some pictures, some videos, different angles, all of that at the same time. And then I have it ready to go in my phone gallery, and I go in right then and there to save those posts as drafts on my favorite social media apps. So I mostly just use Instagram and TikTok for me as an author. And I go in to Instagram, I upload those pictures, and I save them as drafts. And I do the same for TikTok as well. And that just takes a lot of pressure off of me because I know that there are already posts sitting there, and all I have to do is type out the caption and post it, and I'm good to go. So that really helps me feel like, okay, if I'm not in the mood to post tomorrow, I know that I already have something ready to go, so I don't have to worry about it. So I try to do at least a few days ahead. I don't bulk create weeks and weeks at once. I know people do that and it works really well for them. My brain just doesn't work that way. I'm more of an inspiration type of person. So I do a few posts at once and call it a day. So after I save those as drafts, then I can go in as I choose each day and do the rest. You might find it easier to bulk create that content, and then the next day maybe you write out all of your captions, so that's done, and then you schedule your posts in advance. I typically don't schedule posts unless I'm going on vacation, and that way I do schedule a few days out so that I know I have content going out whenever I'm going to be living my life and enjoying my time. But if you enjoy scheduling posts and kind of getting it off your plate one day a week, scheduling out a few things, you absolutely can do that. There are so many different options. There is later.com, there's Planoly, there's Hootsuite, Buffer. If you have a Meta Facebook account, a business page, they have the Creator Studio where you can also schedule posts directly in there for Facebook and Instagram. So that's always an option. And of course, Instagram also has the ability to schedule Reels as well, just right from the mobile app. So I typically will do that, is schedule Reels out a few days ahead of time, which is really nice to just have that ready to go. So we've done creation, we've done, possibly scheduling or just getting them set up in the apps. So with that is going to come picking your music if it's a video. Let's talk about editing videos a little bit, since that's a big thing that we talk about here is TikTok videos and Instagram Reels. People always ask me what I use for editing, and I actually keep it very simple and edit directly in those apps. So typically I will add my video to TikTok, and then I'll add my text and I'll add my music and captions and anything else straight from the app. You can clip the beginning and end of your videos. You can clip out things in the middle if you mess up or want to cut anything out. So I do all of my editing there. And TikTok recently made an update where you can now download your video before posting it without the watermark. It used to be that I would post my video on TikTok after editing it within the app and then download it to my phone, but it would have a watermark on it. And then I'd have to put it through a website called Snaptic to get rid of the watermark, because other social media apps don't really like whenever you upload other social media videos to their platforms. They want you to create the content within their own app. So that used to be an extra step that I no longer have to do, which is really nice. I just download the video edited without the watermark from TikTok and can share it to YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels or wherever else you post. And occasionally I will use Instagram's editing features as well. So I don't use any other apps, but I have clients who love using CapCut or Canva to create their video content. And so they'll make all of their content in those apps, download it, and then they can post it to TikTok or schedule it to Instagram or wherever else they're posting. So that might work well for you as well. So after posting, now we have to remember that it's important to look at analytics and actually review how that content performed. So you don't have to do this every single day, but I do recommend, especially if you have a TikTok video perform better than usual, that you do take a moment to look at the analytics for that video and see what could have caused it to perform better. Did it get longer watch time? Was your hook better and it really hooked people in and got them to keep watching? So I do recommend, if you do notice something doing better than usual, that you take a look at that post and try to repeat similar things so that you don't forget about it, so that you can retry sooner than later. So I always like to look at my analytics, usually about once a month. So I'm in my posts from the last 30 days on Instagram, and I just take a look at the trends of what's popular. And the reason that I mostly show the inside of my book for my poetry books is because those are always my top performing content. And then I also like to show some personal content as well as some new poems on this graphic. So you can kind of see the order of how things look. I can also filter by reels that were popular, which are always kind of similar formats. I can see what's performed best there. I can also look at my stories content and see what my stories content and reach is like. So a lot of my more personal posts end up going on my stories because that's what works best for me. So I can kind of use all of this data, filter by the last few months if you don't post super often, and really take a look at what has performed best and use that to really inspire and influence your next months of content. You don't have to do this every single day. This is something that I'll typically look at every couple of weeks, is go into my analytics, look at recent posts, see what my top posts were, see what got people commenting or saving those posts, or did I see an uptick in sales that day? And if so, what did I post on that day? That's something that's really helpful as well. Creating a lot of content does not have to be complicated or time consuming, but I do want to say that in the beginning, if you are newer to creating content or learning what really engages your audience, it is going to be a little bit more time consuming, but the ability to reach thousands of new people with your content is definitely worth it. So start with some research, get inspired, create your content, schedule it out if that works for you, and then analyze how it's going to make it even easier in the future, because now you'll have an idea of what is working for you and what's not. I hope walking through my content creation process was helpful for you. If you are new to Instagram and TikTok as an author, I will link my 2 step-by-step guides to both of those apps in the description of this video. Please be sure to subscribe and like this video. I post new videos every single week to help you with social media marketing. Thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye.